So why would that be an issue?
It's not an issue.
Oh, it's not
an
issue? Okay.
It all depends on who you're targeting.
Oh, your target audience.
Yes,
okay.
Because if you want to target that person who wants an uplift in their soul, or a nourishment in their soul, a refreshment in to their soul, huwezi mwambia unaimba about njaa, about venye maybe uko some part of the country venye imepigwa na njaa, ama venye watu wana struggle na struggles zingine. That person needs to know about God, to feel God in the music,
to be uplifted.
Exactly.
Okay.
So kama unaimba ku address issues za society, issues za social, address to the right people. Usiseme ati sasa hii naimbia Mungu ati through ku address social issues.
Okay.
But there is nothing wrong about it.
Right. And of course, you know, we'll just be continue to listening to more gospel music. Like I said, today is really a gospel Thursday, so our focus is mostly on gospel and just trying to understand our industry. And Nix will be doing, you know, continue to play for us music, gospel music later on. But for now, we speak to Jay Khan, a gospel artist. And just before, you know, we get into the facts in terms of how you know, gospel artists, in terms of how they write their music and how you write your own music. First of all, just tell us, for you as an artist, is it gospel all through? Like, umeamua nitakwa gospel all through, ama katikati uta change? You know, because quite a number of artists, you know, as you move along, they tend to be inclined to secular or something else. So for you, have you decided it's gospel all the way?
Wow, thank you very much for having me this morning. I'm really privileged and honored.
Yeah.
Actually, this issue of whether are you doing gospel or secular?
Let's just start by you
myself.
as an individual, yes, as Jay Khan.
Myself, I'm strictly doing gospel music.
So there's no point where you'll feel inclined to change to something else or a different genre? Yeah,
unless I'm addressing a certain issue in the society, as Nick said, yes. Or probably it's a song, a special song, probably a love wedding song. Maybe talking about just talking about a marriage, or a love wedding marriage, just to entertain the couples, the new wedded couples. You see, so such songs, I think they don't have any contradiction as far as gospel music is concerned, so long as you are in the context of the gospel. You know, there is love music, but in the context of the gospel. Yes, what is prescribed by the Bible. Yes.
So for you, you've decided it's gospel all the way.
Yes, gospel all the way, because that's my calling.
Yeah.
And I aspire to stick to that, because that's what I'm called to do.
Okay.
Yes.
And of course, later on, you know, you'll just be speaking from, you know, you're just telling us from an artist's point of view, actually what will make someone change from gospel to secular, but that will come in later on. But for now, just walk us through your journey. How has it been being a young gospel artist? How has the journey been like, just from when you began up till now?
Yeah, I started in my childhood. Actually, I discovered music.
Childhood, that's primary or high school?
That is primary.
Okay.
I remember back in primary school, I used to write some song. I used to entertain my pupils, my fellow pupils.
So when you discover since?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, nilikuwa najua, like I had the capability and the ability to sing, but I wasn't like very, very perfect in terms of writing.
Okay.
But I used to entertain guys around, my fellow students. But before then, if I maybe touch kidogo about my story, I was actually brought up in a children's home, and I was rescued from the street. Like I had actually, you know, I was raised up in a family that was very disintegrated. There was domestic violence, and my dad actually was into alcoholism. So that actually caused the disintegration of our family. Na tukajipata mimi na mabro zangu tumeenda kwa street. Tukaanza kuingia into drugs, tukaanza kuingia into abusing substances, tukaanza kuja huku tao kwa ma street kule kuombaomba, kuibia watu vibeti. So I entered into, I found myself into that kind of life. But later on, into crime. But later on, that was before I was rescued from the street. Nikapelekwa kwa children's home. So in the children's home, I was rehabilitated there, and I gave my life to Jesus at a very tender age. I was like 10, 11 years old. So I was rehabilitated. Nikaokoka, nikaombewa, and my mind was renewed. I went to church, nikaenda kwa kanisa fulani inaitwa Pefa Church in Kawes. That's where I was brought up. And I was mentored there. That's how nikakuwa mentored, and nikaanza kuimbia hapo. Like I was given mic in the service during main service. and I will do praise and worship music. Yes, that's actually where I started music.
So that's just how your journey began in terms of, you know, just getting saved and decided to actually sing gospel and sing for God.
Yes.
All right, so just in terms of, you know, the way we were talking to Nix earlier on, and we were trying to understand, is really our industry headed in the right direction, you know, the gospel industry? Because some people would say, you know, unlike how it was back in the day, where artists would actually just sit, get inspired, meditate, read the Bible, and really get their content from inspiration from God and the Holy Spirit. But for now, we find that people are saying, you know, people are just singing for the sake of fame, to be known, and not really for impact. Do you feel that is the case?
I guess that also trickles down to an individual decision. Also, what are your values, what are your beliefs, and what you believe in. Because when you see people inclining to do secular music, there's something not right about maybe their spirituality, and also they're not deeply rooted into the Word of God. Because if you started out as a gospel artist, and later on, then later on piga kona unaingia kwa secular, probably there's something wrong and something that you're not doing, or maybe mentorship or the people the company that you're holding, you're lacking mentorship. So ukiona mtu anaingia kwa secular, I mean, started in gospel and doing secular. You know, when you start out as a secular artist, then you transit to gospel.
It's a different story.
It's an amazing thing. Okay. It's actually something to be commented. But when you're secular and you started out as a gospel artist, there's somewhere that really is not working out in terms of your spirituality.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that later. You know, in terms actually what really happens, you know, to a person's life for that to happen. But for now, you talked about this issue of mentorship, and you said you also had a mentor. Yeah. So talk to us about that. How important is it for, especially, you know, upcoming artists or just young people to have mentors? Because also last week we were talking to another gospel artist, and for him, he was saying he doesn't have a mentor. So for him to just make it through in life and to navigate the industry has just been by the grace of God. But the aspect of mentorship, how significant is that to just a young person, even in just general?
Yeah, mentorship is actually very crucial. Because it's good for a gospel artist to have a spiritual covering and a spiritual authority.
That's like a spiritual father, spiritual mom?
Yes, yes. Because how I started out, as I told you earlier, when I was brought up in a children's home, there was a spiritual cover. There was that guy, that person, the pastor, actually back in Kahawe, that's where I come from. And the pastor used to actually sit us down and advise us, and because he actually knew this is what the direction I had taken to do gospel music. It would actually, before I would release any song, he would sit me down and ananiambia, "Ebu nisikize hii song yako," and he would listen to the song and tell me if there's any problem, if there's any mistake, there's any
so he would
anything
guide
that is
you
off.
through.
Yeah, yes, there is anything off spiritually, because actually mentorship in
that's really
a very
important.
that's actually a very major role. Play a very major role towards building us as ministers, because we are not only artists, we are ministers. We are spreading the gospel, and we are doing that through inspiring people, through encouraging people, and our music's actually ministering to souls. So it's not just about singing. There is much more, because if you're into gospel industry and your intention is just to get money, because kuna watu wanafanya music kupata do,
wajulikane,
kuna wenye wanafanya music wajulikane, popular fame, popularity and fame, ama ku prove a point. But if you're a minister and you're doing gospel music to inspire, to encourage, and at some point to entertain as well. So it's good to have a mentor and a spiritual covering, and also to be deeply rooted in the Word of God, because that's where you'll get all the knowledge that you need.
Yeah, and also all, like the way you said, all the guidance. But now let's talk about your music. Yeah, like your song Nitakusifu, and you know, just your latest song Nitakusifu, Nilinde. Talk to us about how you write your music and what is the inspiration behind how you write your music, and also specifically this song Nitakusifu. Yes,
Nitakusifu ni song it actually came to me as a way of adoring God and worshiping God. I actually serve in Sitam Thika Road.
Okay.
That's where I come from, like in a music team. I'm the praise and worship team. And whenever I'm worshiping, there are those melodies that come. Whenever I'm singing, and in the morning, maybe when I wake up, there are those melodies that come. And this song came a certain morning, and I was singing, and a melody came, and that's why I started writing this song. Nitakusifu is all about adoration, worshiping God, and actually praising him for the good things that he had done in my life. As I had told you earlier, I was brought up in a children's home.
Yeah,
I was taken from the streets. So it's just about praising God for the great things that he has done in my life and the transformation that has come. Because actually, I'm a living testimony of what the Lord, I'm a living proof of what the Lord can do to those who surrender their lives to him. So this is actually a song to adore and to praise and to even have fun at the same time.
Okay, yes. Though you're saying a song to praise, have fun, and God, maybe just sing for us a line or a chorus of that song so the viewers can get a taste of that kind of song.
Yeah, this is J Khan. Nitakusifu. Chorus goes like this. Nitakusifu cause ni wewe pekee, natumainia Mola wangu tu ni wewe pekee, natumainia. Nitakusifu cause ni wewe pekee, natumainia Mola wangu tu ni wewe pekee, natumainia. Sustain. You give me joy and happiness. You give me satisfaction in every way. Sitaona haya nitakupa praise. Umenitendea, umenisusten. Umekuwa mwema zaidi. Nilipotoka Mola ukanifanya, ukuniacha you're always by my side. Katika uwepo wako nitaabadi, kukusifu milele sitamani. Nitakusifu juu ni wewe pekee, natumainia Mola wangu tu ni wewe pekee, natumainia. Nitakusifu juu ni wewe pekee, natumainia Mola wangu tu ni wewe. Ndio maana nakufollow, Maulana wanifaidi zaidi. Ndio maana nakufollow, umekuwa mwema zaidi zaidi. Ndio maana nakufollow, Maulana wanifaidi zaidi. Ndio maana nakufollow, kwako nimetunga kambi, sibanduki kamwe. Nimetulia, mabeshte wanitenge, wapende wasipende, oh no, sitofifia. To the sky, lift him higher. Ametenda mema usione haya. Tuna pare pare, tunawasha nare. We give a praise and no one
Right, and that is Nitakusifu by J Khan. Such a beautiful song, really just showing that this is the song that, you know, just written from a point of inspiration. But just as we try to wrap this to bring this conversation to a close, how would you say was the reception like when you first released that song? Was it, you know, was it really accepted by people? How did people really react to that song?
This song actually is the second song.
Your second single?
This is the second song.
Okay.
In the video.
Okay.
The video, because actually I'm compiling an album for myself. I started singing way back in 2014. I did my first video in 2014. Inaitwa David Dance. It's actually on YouTube. So I've been compiling songs. I have a list of so many songs. So there's that song that I give priority, even to consider for a video shoot. So this actually, actually it's the third song. It's the third song because there's that one I started out David Dance in 2014. Then I did Unilinde in 2017, 2016, 2017, because actually I had taken a break. Musical break from music, because I went into hustling and I went into looking for a job, even to sustain my music, because music is not easy, because you actually need to fund your music, because actually if you really completely depend on music and you're an upcoming artist and you're not well established, you really struggle. So I had to go back, hustle so that I support my music, so that I fund for my videos and my audios, because actually when I started out, it was like try and error. But this time I realized this is actually where I'm called to do, to concentrate in, and I decided I need to do, quality music. Yeah?
Quality
music.
music.
That is video and audio.
Yeah.
So this is actually a song that I did, my that song, and it had a great reception. And though I had a challenge with the recording process and the video, because at some point I was disappointed by the video directors, Kidogo and Aniangusha. We planned for
Quality
it.
haikuwa as how you really wanted it to be.
Actually, it didn't come out the way I actually wanted, because I actually had invested in it. But sometimes my director wanted to disappoint Kidogo, but actually that's the journey. That's
just how it is. And you mentioned something about you had to take a break, then come back.
Yes.
So would you say, like, especially for artists, would you say that music is not, kama unaanza, is not really that of a main hustle for someone? Like, you really have to have a main hustle and then have music?
Yes, actually you need to strike a balance. For me, there is a balance that you need to strike, because this industry, as we said, is actually not really established. And also, if you're doing music for livelihood, like fully investing into music for livelihood, you really need to have enough capital for videos, for marketing. You need to have a team behind you to market your music, to do video quality videos and audio. You just don't need to record into any studio or just work with any director. Or just, we need to invest into music. So there's that aspect of trying to balance, trying to hustle, or having like a side hustle to fund your music.
Okay.
Yes.
So really, you just need to really invest a lot in it.
A lot.
All right. In just 30 seconds, what are your future goals?
Currently, as I said, I'm compiling an album. I'll be releasing it later in the year.
Yeah.
I'm planning to do an album launch very soon, later in the year, to compile all these songs that I have, and then have an official release. And then I'm also planning to start up my own studio. Yeah?
Okay.
Yes, start up my own.
That looks like to be the dream of sort of every artist.
Yes. Actually, it's actually a good thing for an artist to have their own studio.
Okay.
To have a team, people advising him and showing them the right direction to follow. So actually, that's what my projection in the near future. And also, my long-term goal is to inspire, to encourage, and also to impact through my music ministry, because I don't want to be just an artist,
just singing
for the sake, but I want to be a minister through music.
Good job.
Yes.
Good job. So that has been Jay Khan himself, a gospel artist, just trying to walk us through his journey and telling us that for him, it's not just about singing to be famous, to be known, to make money, but to actually make impact to our society, especially to our young generation. And of course, today, like I said, it's all about gospel. Nix has really been giving us good mixes, and he'll be doing that after this break, continue to give us good mixes of gospel, and just try to understand how our gospel industry is looking like. Is it headed in the right direction again? Jen is coming just after this break, also just to continue more of having this on this interviews as well as Ram. But for now, we take a very, very quick break. Don't go too far. We come back with more interviews as well as more mixes. For now, though, that break, don't go too far. We'll be right back.